missed the introductions. So why rank math, guys? Rank math is the most powerful and best WordPress SEO tools to be added to your website. Rank math is free. According to developers, it will always be free. However, they do have a premium version in the works. And for this meetup, rank math integrates with Elementor, which is an important thing. So a lot of you people use Yoast. Are wondering why you would want to use rank math as opposed to Yoast. There's a bunch of reasons. I'll name a few. There is a one-click import from Yoast. So if you do switch to rank math, you bring all those settings over from all your pages, all your posts into rank math automatically with one click. Everything in the paid version of Yoast is available in rank math, so you don't have to spend any money. And it's 66% lighter than Yoast. And there's things in rank math that aren't even in the paid version of Yoast. I'll go through them real quickly. Plugin compatibility check, keyword tracking, SEO site-wide analysis, image SEO, Google keyword suggestions, redirections, 401 monitor, role manager, schema, which is also structured data or rich snippets, and capitalizing titles. So let me share my screen and we'll kind of do an install and go through things here. First of all, we'll go to the dashboard and install rank math. Let me know if you have any questions as we come along things. Feel free. So go to add new. Get you guys out of the way. Search for rank math. There it is. And we'll activate it. So first of all, rank math wants you to create a free account. And we'll go ahead and connect to do that. And you can connect either using your email or password or WordPress or Google or Facebook, or I'm not sure what other they allow, but I'll use Google. I got to accept my terms of agreement here. Okay. Continue as myself. Okay, so now we have an account with rank math. That was real easy. There's three different ways to, let me back up a little bit. Let me start off by saying I'm not an SEO expert. I'm not a rank math expert. I've used rank math a little bit, but pretty much learned most of it this week. So Doug, Josh, David, if you could chime in, that would be great. If I stumble on things, help each other out. So we're going to go ahead and start the wizard on easy mode. And first of all, it knows I have Yoast installed. And I'm going to import all my settings from Yoast. So I'll do that, start importing. It's going through all my Yoast information and bringing all that over into rank math. And there, we're done. So a few things it wants to know. What type of site is this? Is it a personal blog? Is it a community blog? Personal profile, small business, web shop? That's what if you have an e-commerce site. Other personal, other business. We'll just choose small business for this demo. Type. There's all different types of things here. What I would recommend if you have local Google set up, you try to match these things as closely as possible to your local Google account. Google,
what is local Google?
Local Google. Let me bring that up. Everyone should have a local Google account.
So like if I'm searching for something, sometimes
Yeah, go to
Google will pop up a sidebar with.
yeah, Google My Business is where you tell Google all about your information, your name, what type of site you have, what your hours are, all this information, and that helps you with the search engines on the Google side of things. And it helps that your rank math settings match these as close as possible. So yeah, business.google.com. So if you're a local business, definitely get this. If people are searching, they will show you on the map and that sort of thing as well. So very important. Company name. We'll just choose Elementor. Logo for Google. So when Google shows your information on the search, there's a way to have a logo. Let me bring up my website.
Quick question for you, Greg.
Yeah,
you did mention matching it closely with Google Local. What if you already have Google Local set up? You're not duplicating efforts.
No,
by.
We're not duplicating efforts at all. This is all on your website, but it helps that it matches. I'm not sure why, but anyhow, the logo for Google. This is my Morgantown WebWorks. This is a logo that'll appear when Google shows your site on the search engines. So we'll go ahead and throw a logo in there. Let's use this one. And this is the default logo for social media. So if you were to share a page on social media, this would be the logo that would be shown. I'll just pick the same one. And we'll save and continue. Next is Google Search Console. I hope you all have Search Console installed. So it wants to connect with Search Console and actually bring some of that information directly into your website admin area for you to use. So we'll go ahead and get an authorization code from Google.
Will it let you kind of visit the same things you'd see at Google Search Console, so you don't have to like go log in over there to see some basic stuff?
Exactly. So we'll grab this code and drop it in here and authorize. So we're now authorized, and it shows all your sites on the Search Console. Of course, we want the Elementor one, so you can type it in and select it and save and continue. That's it. Everything's pretty much set up. There's a lot of more settings that we'll cover, but the basics are here, and this is going to help your search engine rankings just with these basic steps we already did. So we'll go ahead and return to the dashboard. And from the dashboard, I have all these optional modules. I'm going to disable them all right now. We'll hit them one by one. There's also the advanced mode, which shows more advanced modules that are available. And you can turn these on or off as you need them. So we'll kind of go through them one by one. 404 monitor, sorry. Carol, I think you'd asked about looking for broken links. They don't have a scan that looks for broken links, but when someone hits a broken link, it'll record that for you, so you'll know about it.
So you'll learn about the ones people actually visit.
Exactly. So the monitor you can turn on simple mode. This is how many of those will be logged. You can put it to 0 if you want. If you don't want to limit at all. If there's certain things that come up that create 404 errors that you want to exclude, you can put them in here. Choose whether it contains exact, regex, that sort of thing. If you want to ignore query parameters, you can have this turned on. And that's if it's a URL and it's a question mark. Something equals something after the URL, it'll ignore that information because that may be different when those requests come in. It's also in advanced mode. Again, I'm not going to cover everything. We're going to give you kind of an overview. So that's the 404 monitor. When I added that module in the dashboard, just going to leave that. It automatically put it down here. So when I click on that, you can see that there's 2 already that came in. So if I go to the website itself, actually, let me open a new tab. If I try to go to a page that doesn't exist.
Very pretty, Greg.
So thank you. XYZ, page not found. If I go here and do a refresh, you can see that 404 error that came through.
So even though you have an error page, it can still tell that the visitor got there because the page they wanted didn't exist.
Yeah, and there's another module that does redirection. So if you wanted to redirect those to a page that did exist, you could do that. So back to the dashboard, advanced custom fields, we can turn that on. This will allow you to put in metadata for your advanced custom fields. In our prior examples, we did a restaurant demo. If I go into the restaurant, you can see this information is now available for restaurants as well. If we look at this one here, Karma Heaven, we can now see that we have that information here. So I'm going to get back to this in a minute, but it's now available for this as well. Back to Rank Math's dashboard. AMP, it handles AMP. I don't use AMP, but if you are, you can look into that. I don't use BB Press or Buddy Press, but if you're into that, you can find out more about it. Image SEO, turn that module on and go into it. So what this does is, it's good to have an alt tag for all images for SEO purposes. But if you don't want to add them, you can click this on and it'll use the file name instead if it's missing. It's kind of a fallback. You can also use different things. There's all these different options. I'm not sure why you'd want to use some of these, but you could.
Greg, why is it important? You said it's kind of,
it's a great place to put keywords in images. If you do any sort of SEO checks, it'll say, it'll recommend that you put keywords in all your images behind them. Of course, if you're using file names and all your images are like picture 0123, you wouldn't want to use file name. You'd want to actually go to that image and put it in behind it instead. Same thing with title, missing titles. I usually don't put SEO information in titles. In the past, if you hovered over an image, in some browsers, it would do a little tooltip, and I didn't like that. So I don't know how important that is, but I wouldn't use this feature.
Greg.
Yes.
Another very important reason to use alt tags is accessibility. And nowadays that is becoming a real important issue.
Very good point.
And accessibility, and that's where you put the description of the image, not just the file name, because it won't help someone with needing accessibility. So it's very important to use correct alt tags.
That's a good point. So if someone can't see the screen, they'll actually read what that image is.
Right.
Oscar, I wanted to ask a question. You know, on that right there, on the image SEO, it had the setting to do the missing alt tags, and I know that for some images in accessibility, you don't want to have an alt tag, correct? If it's not appropriate.
No, you do have to have it. Simply you put you mark it as decorative. I think it's the name, or I don't recall exactly the name that you do it, but it's just for decoration purposes. But you do need the anyway.
There may be instances where you don't want to have an alt tag, whether it's like a Facebook tracking pixel or something like that. It wouldn't make sense to have it there. Maybe social media icons, you may not want it there. It all depends. So that module set up, we'll go back to the dashboard, link counter. I don't know what this is. It says it counts the number of internal, external links. Does anyone know what that is?
Sounds like a Yoast thing. Because one of the columns in Yoast will show how many links in or links out or something, and somehow that improves or unimproves a page's rank.
For search engine optimization purposes, the number of inbound and outbound links
Outbound links, yeah.
is important. It helps.
Yeah, I'm just not sure where it displays this information.
You can, on individual pages, I'm not sure if this is the setting for it, but it will show you suggestions and the number of inbound and outbound links on each individual page.
Okay.
So on a specific page, it'll also say, it'll give you three links to your own website that it suggests that you add to a specific content, like pillar content or somewhere else in your site.
Okay, excellent.
And the inbound links, I presume those are from within your site and not from the World Wide Web?
Yeah, from your site to other pages.
Yes.
Thanks.
Local SEO knowledge graph, go in there. This is where it's important to match your local information. You can tell whether you're a person or organization. The name of your organization, your logo. We covered this during the
What if you're an organization of one?
That's what I am. I don't know. Depends on how you want to be portrayed, I guess. So email, phone number, address information. This is where they say it needs to match as close as possible. Your about page. So the about page will find that about page. Okay. There it is. And the contact page. Contact us. Okay, we'll save those changes and move on. And back to the dashboard. Redirections. These are for 404 redirections. What you want to happen when the page isn't found, you want to go to the home page, or you can have a custom page. You can create your own 404 page and have it go there. What type of move this is. Auto post redirection.
So is there any mechanism that will do this ahead of time, or are you saying?
This is kind of a global redirection. So if a page isn't found and you don't have another way to get to it with your redirection, it'll fall back to this.
So once you set this up, even if you don't make a specific redirect, this fallback action will happen?
Right. And this auto post redirection, if you're to change the URL, it'll automatically update the information here with your redirect.
Oh, that's nice. Because how often do we forget that?
Yeah. So let's save and changes. Back to the dashboard. What else do we have here? Schema. That's a hot topic. So they provide Schema, which I don't know if Yoast free version does that. I don't think they do. So there's some other information on this. This is for posts. So the redirection type is here. You can choose, the schema type is here. So you can choose what type of schema your pages are, or your posts are in this situation. I think articles kind of the default. Going back to the top, you can also change how you display your single post title. By default, it's title, page, separator, and site name like it shows here. You can rearrange that however you want. This is then a default. You can actually change this to be more specific on a poster page when you get into that level of detail. Single post description is using the excerpt now. You could use something else as well. schema type, headline, description. Again, these are all default information to fall back on. Article type, whether it's article, blog post, news article.
Can I ask, does anyone in the group have a website where they set up the schema? I thought for a website it would be important to set this up, and I read about it. And my website was just one for like a sole proprietor engineer guy, and it just didn't seem appropriate to tag anything with schema tags.
I guess if it's appropriate, you'd want to do it all. I think article is kind of a default. So if you're not going to use any specific schema, you can use article. It provides information to Google about the page that you would normally provide. We'll look at that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
We're going to skim over some of these things. You want it indexed or not? Of course, you want it indexed. This will give you links suggestions when you're doing the page or post SEO. You can do the suggestions based on title or focus keywords. Adds meta box, you want that. So let's go back to the dashboard and see what's next.
Oh, so back to the schema.
Yeah.
So once you configure it to automatically add tags, can you go back and see what's added and customize them?
Let's look at restaurants, because I did say I wanted to include custom post types. So we'll look at the restaurants. Let's look at this Karma Heaven again. While we're here, we'll just go ahead and do some of these things. So as far as schema, there's a schema tag here.
Okay.
And we schema generator. We use restaurants, so it has one
So it
already.
didn't automatically add anything?
No, it didn't automatically add anything for this one. So for this particular restaurant, it's going to use the title, description. That's fine. We could give a phone number,
Okay.
price range. I guess they want like dollar signs, street address, locality. Region. I guess I want state. I'm not sure.
Greg, can you populate those from advanced custom fields?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll look into that. That's a great question. Save a lot of time for sure. Of course, I don't have all these fields set up, but yeah, that would be a good way to bring those over. USA, put in latitude, what days you're open. Maybe you're only open on the weekends. Opening time, close time, we'll use those. Menu. Just grab this. So maybe we have the menu page. Save for post. So now for this particular restaurant, we update. So we just add that schema to this Karma Heva restaurant. If I go to that link, you don't see anything visual on the page, but if I go to, Google has a way to check your schema. We'll put in the information, the link we just did. We'll do a test on that. And it's going through now and grabbing all that schema information to display to, so we know it's there.
It's good to have Google's opinion.
Yeah. I don't really spend too much time about other search engines. I primarily focus on Google.
Where did you go in are you in Google Search Console, rich results? Is that where you went?
Yeah, search.google.com/test/rich-results.
Okay.
So here we go. Page is available for rich results. Local business. Here we go. It's a type of restaurant. It's got the phone number, the price range, address, all the information we entered.
So these tags are on the home page of the website?
These are, well, we just add them to this one particular page for Karma Heaven. So if you had,
Okay,
I would have to do this for each restaurant because all the information about the restaurant's going to be different.
but it's a single restaurant website. Is that what you're saying?
No,
And
I
then the
have,
home page has these schema tags.
I have several restaurants here. So if you go back, we did a presentation a couple months ago where we added different restaurants. Like a,
Okay, so
like a
for each
review
page.
set. Yeah, so this one particular Karma Heaven, we just added that information to it just now. That's the information that's being displayed. So if we're to take this, hang on, this thing's in the way. Actually, if we were to do a Google search for this particular page, it would list some of that information here. Since I just did it, Google hasn't crawled the page yet, but you know, a couple weeks from now, it may display some of that information here. For instance, if you were to, let me give you an example.
And also if you have a logo, right, that'll, or if you somehow tell Rank Math that this page should have a logo when its summary is displayed on Google, then that little logo image will be there too, right?
So I did a search for Apple AirPods. We can see some of that information here. Let's see. That's so they have reviews. You can have schema information for reviews. See, there's some information down here. So here it shows the price. It's in stock. So this is coming from their schema information from Target. So if I were to do a search on this in a few weeks, we'll probably have that information. Maybe our hours will be posted, our price range will be posted, that sort of information. And that'll definitely help out as far as SEO. Let me close some of these. Okay, so as long as we're here, let's look at some of the other information here. So the focus keyword isn't in the title. We don't have a focus keyword yet, so we'll put in restaurants. All right. Restaurant. So that's our keyword. We can add other restaurants too. Maybe Karma. I'm not sure what kind of food they have. Maybe they have coffee. That sort of thing. You can have up to 5 different keywords. However, restaurant's your primary keyword. I think Yoast only allows 1 keyword. So focus keyword doesn't appear in the content. So we want to change that.
Well, no, isn't the idea you write your content to those focus keywords?
Exactly.
And
So we
then
got keyword and
at least
restaurant.
Yoast gives you a score based on how well you match.
Yeah, so we're going to put this down here in place of the default. And we'll add restaurant. Double that word.
You're close. You're close.
Close, yeah, not close enough then. So do an update. So now we just passed this first one, it's checked off, and this is pretty much similar to what Yoast does. We don't have a keyword in the meta description, so we'll go back and do that as well. For simplicity, we'll just post the same thing. Has great food. So now we passed that test. It's not found in the URL, so let's go change the URL. So we're doing better. We matched the keyword in the title, the description, the URL. It's not in the beginning of the content. I don't really have content in this page, so.
Down at the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. For simplicity, we'll just put this down here. We're doing better. On the last one I want is to have more content. They're recommending 600 words per page. We'll grab a whole bunch of content and stick down here. So now we're all good. This is what you want to do to all your restaurants or all your pages and all your posts. Go through them one by one and make these changes to optimize your content. There are other additional things you can look at too. We're not going to get into those, but you can look at them on your own. Same thing for, let me update this. Same thing for Woocommerce.
Oh, wait, before you go on, so remind me, what sort of section were we in where we were looking at the content and the focus keywords?
This is a custom post type that I created for restaurants. This would look similar for pages. We'll do pages as well. This was
So it's all on the edit page. It's just like you go scroll down a bit.
Yeah. I think this
So
is
same as in Yoast, you just go look
how
for
Yoast works, right? Let's look at WooCommerce products. I only have one demo product here. And we did have in our, where to go? We did have that we wanted to cover WooCommerce as one of the options in the, so we do see information here. We want to see SEO title and description. Those will also show up. You can edit them here if you want. You can also go into the, edit the product itself. And we have the same information here. I'm not going to go through it, but yeah, we can do the same thing for each product in WooCommerce to enhance its ratings as well. It shows you the score on each one as well. Let's look at a page. Elementor. I think that's the one I want. So with pages, it's a little different. The information appears over here. All you have to do is click this button. And it shows you the snippet that'll be displayed in the Google search results. And again, we don't have a keyword. We'll call it page builder. Be our keyword. Yeah, another thing I wanted to show that it does. If I could just type. It also gives you examples of other keywords you may want to use. So it's talking to Google to find out keywords that may be useful they might want to use instead of the one you chose. That's a big benefit, something Yoast doesn't do.
Greg, I kind of missed, how did you get from the SEO stuff being on the right compared to being kind of on the bottom?
These are pages and posts, do it on the right. Custom post types, do it below. WooCommerce is a custom post type, so it does it below.
Okay.
So it's a little different. It shows it on the side. It's the same information. I I did this with Elementor, so we'll go to the Elementor side. With Elementor. So here's our page in Elementor. Rank Math has added a new tab up here for SEO. We can click that. The same information that was in the Gutenberg off to this side now appears in Elementor. So you can work back and forth and not leave your page. So again, focus keywords not in the title. We can change the title, which we do down here. Elementor Page Builder. Update. Go back to SEO. We've satisfied that. Keywords not in the meta description or the URL. So again,
Greg, I think you don't even have to update.
Pardon?
I don't think you even have to update. As soon as you put it, it's going to pick it up. When you're satisfied, you update the page.
Let's try that. We'll put that as a site title as well. Permalink Page Builder. And it's going to ask about the description as well. So we'll put that here. Elementor.
Your title picked up your content that you used to populate the page previously.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Why did you change your language?
I think I pasted the wrong field here. You wouldn't really want always the same. I'm just in this for the demo to satisfy it. And as you type, it shows you how many characters you can put in here. You'd want to put as many as possible, and you can add other keywords as well. As I mentioned, you can have up to 5 keywords. So it'd be great if you could have your primary keyword near the beginning and add them all in, but it should be readable by people. That's more important than just shoving keywords in. Let me do a save.
Scroll up.
Yeah, I know you guys are in the way here. There we go. Close that. So yeah, so we satisfied these two now. Keyword doesn't appear at the beginning of your content, so we'll edit this. Elementor to the Elementor Page Builder. Go back to SEO. So covered those. The last one here is not enough content. Let's grab that same content from Lorem Ipsum, and we'll just drag a new text editor in here. Paste a bunch of content. Where that content's coming from. Let's try that again. Okay, well, we have a ton of content now. Let's go back to SEO. There we go. We matched all that criteria. Of course, you could continue with the additional information as well. Any questions so far? Suggestions, comments?
At this point is the moment to update if you're happy with the results.
I think I'm happy with it. Let's do an update.
Is this the paid version?
They don't have a paid version. It's all free.
Oh, this is free. This is free?
Yeah, everything's free.
Wow, great.
We'll exit to the dashboard. Let's go back to the dashboard, see if I missed anything there. Role manager, let's look at that. This is where you can determine what type of person has access to what type of options they can work on. Pretty self-explanatory. Search console. This is important. So we had already hooked up to our search console, put in this information that was covered during the onboarding wizard, so that's taken care of. So if I go to search console now down here, it'll bring that information over from Google and show me the information. Of course, I don't have much in there yet. Analysis shows the keywords that were used. Already found a few. Sitemaps. Keyword tracker is not available yet, so we're waiting for that. Go back to the dashboard.
You kind of skip pretty quick over sitemaps.
Sitemaps we haven't got to yet. It's coming up.
Okay.
SEO analysis. Again, this was a lot of information for me to cover in a week, so I may be missing things or hopefully not telling you the wrong information.
Well, it's our job to ask questions.
SEO analysis, start a site-wide analysis. Let's go ahead and do that.
So this is like an overall kind of thing.
Correct, for the entire website. So we're ranking 65, not too good. And if you go through here, it'll tell you all the things that need to be corrected. Missing an H1 tag, tells you how to fix it. Missing alt images. So I think this is similar to Yoast too. You need to go through and make sure all these red X's are green check boxes. And
I wonder if, someone who's maybe more familiar with this could also comment on, when I was learning about Yoast, it seems some of the things that were recommended for the particular website I was looking at, it didn't make sense to do. Like it might cause the wording to be kind of awkward. So somehow you have to still take this as, take it with a grain of salt as to what actually do. So I guess for sure you want Google to be happy, but you also want it to be.
Yeah, it's more important to be readable by humans.
Right.
For Google to understand all your keywords. Because Google catches on to that. They look at the language and readability of the site. And not all pages you're going to score 100% on. That's okay. Some could be 80%, 85%. So you're not looking for a perfect score. You're just trying to get the best you can.
Yeah, I see. If you look through this, it flags things that you would want to do anyway, but maybe you just forgot or didn't notice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Carol, one general SEO tip that I find kind of handy is to take a look at what your competition is doing and look at their websites and look at the length of their content and get a kind of a feel for that. So, you see what you need to beat, and then, it gives you some idea about what Google's looking for that particular category.
Very good idea.
Yeah, I always do that. It really helps. Gives you ideas too. Sitemap.
That's what I call the digital competition.
What's that?
You ask a client, who is your competitor, whose competition, and they're going to say A, B, and C.
Right.
You want to rank for what? This keyword. And you go and you Google that keyword, and A, B, and C may not be in the results. So they have the perceived competition in the market, but they also have the digital competition, which is the people that is ranking at the top for the keywords they want to rank for. And those are the ones you have to beat.
Very good. Let's look at sitemap. This tells how many links you want on the sitemap, whether you want images on the sitemap, include feature images, that sort of thing. Nothing too exciting here.
Does anyone have best practices for images in the sitemap? Should you do it or should you not?
I've heard both ways, so I can't really recommend. I would tend to do them. Anyone have ideas on that?
What was the question?
Whether it's a good idea to have images or in your sitemap?
I never do.
Does this sitemap with this plugin turn off the WordPress sitemaps? Because the WordPress sitemaps are now part of 5.0.
I don't know. Sitemaps. So here's sitemaps for posts. So you can include those or not include those. Is that what you mean?
No, because WordPress 5.0 now has, that they have they make a whole group of site maps. So I didn't know if this plugin will automatically turn them off and then these site maps become valid.
Not sure why they're not coming up for some reason, but yeah. It seems like this would be coming from WordPress, the posts and pages anyhow. It does crawl your site for those, but I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can determine whether you want to have these all in your sitemaps or not. The restaurants is a custom post type. If you have other custom post types, you can, whether you want to include them or not. For whatever reason, they're not coming up. Again, you can do it for categories, tags, product categories, all that information. Covered all these modules, and I think they're adding modules all the time, so it's good to have those come about as they come out with them.
I just put on the chat the link of what Rank Math has to say about configuring the sitemaps.
Thank you. So general settings, I didn't cover this. Links, they have options if you want to strip the category base, which would be just this word category. For whatever reason, if your URLs are too long, you can turn that on and it'll strip the category out. Sometimes you have uncategorized, which doesn't help you if you have them all in the same category. So you might want to turn that off if you're not creating categories. Redirect attachments. Whether you want to have your attachment pages load or not, I don't find them useful for any reason, so you might want to redirect them. No follow links. This adds no follow to your external links. I wouldn't recommend that. It's usually a good idea to link outside your site. Same thing for internal links. I don't know why you'd want to have a no follow for that. Maybe on a specific case-by-case basis, but not as a global setting. Another option is to open all your external links in a new tab window. I usually do that all the time anyhow, but you can do this automatically by having that checked. It's kind of nice. Breadcrumbs. If you want to have breadcrumbs enabled, you can turn that on. Configure them however you want. Separator character, all this information that appears in breadcrumbs.
So you're saying Rank Math has its own breadcrumbs generator?
Exactly. You can set it up with all this information. You do need to either put the shortcode or the PHP code to display those breadcrumbs in your theme. Images. We covered this already for images. Webmaster tools, Search Console. I think we linked from that somewhere else, but you can go here and validate the page, grab this information, go back, paste that in, save changes, go back and do a verification. And we are verified with Webmaster. Edit the robot TXT file. You can edit that right here if you want. You can display an SEO title on your pages and posts. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you might. You can put content before or after your RSS information. You can use these variables in these fields as you want. Woocommerce, again, you can remove the base from Woocommerce if your links are too long. You can remove the categories if you want. Parent slugs, that sort of thing. Edit Htaccess. I wouldn't really recommend editing this here, but if you want to make a quick change, if you make a bad change, you'll be locked out of your website and you have to
Right.
use an FTP to fix it.
And you turn that off, the edit Htaccess, because I wouldn't want my clients to ever see that.
That's where you go. That's where you go into roles.
Oh, gotcha. Great. Thank you.
Don't allow them to go in if they're not an
Yeah.
administrator.
Well, they all have administrative access. I just give them editor access also, but you never know which one they're logging in with.
It tells them up here that they got to be careful. So
Yeah.
you can't edit this information until you click the box. So, for monitor, we covered that. Search console, we covered. Redirections, we covered. Redirections down. If you click it down here, yeah, let me leave. You can add redirections here if you have a page that used to be named one thing and now it's another thing. You can add a new one, put in what the URL is, and put in where the new destination is. What's a 301, a 302, a 307, that sort of thing. Go back. That's it for general settings. And again, we covered titles and metadata, and you can do that, titles and metadata for all these different post types. Sitemap, role manager, I think we covered about everything. Getting back to Yoast versus Rank Math, just as a comparison. This is on the Rank Math page, so understand that. Yoast has over 1,000 files. Rank Math has half of that. Lines of code, 95K versus 26K. This is where I said it's a very light plugin. There's a plugin size, 26 versus 8.5. I'm not sure if this is the free version of Yoast or the paid version of Yoast. But if you look down here at Rank
Like
Math,
20 megabytes of that is the NAG screens.
what's that? Oh, the NAG screens, yeah.
Yeah,
Yoast is
about 20
good.
megabytes of messages that how you should buy Yoast.
Those are pretty annoying, right? So here's a comparison of Rank Math versus Yoast. We won't go through all these, but you can see that Rank Math does a lot more than Yoast. A lot more.
Well, and remember, this is written by Rank Math.
Yeah, but these are the facts. I guess you
I bet Yoast has
look at
a
them all.
similar page that makes them look better.
I'd like to see that. Interesting. So why use Rank Math? Easy to use, better than the competition, advanced functionality, auto configuration. One thing I didn't mention that we looked at when we did the wizard, it does check to make sure your site is compatible. Make sure you have version PH7 and that sort of thing before you continue. I kind of missed that.
Good.
So yeah. I think that about covers everything. Repo, my business planner. You guys are probably familiar with search engine keywords, but there is the ads.google.com where you can go in and look for keywords.
Because yesterday the chicken wasn't warm.
So that's where you can discover keywords and find out
And help yourself, okay?
how popular they are and that sort of thing.
Yes. This is the duck meat.
So I put in web design, and Google comes up and tells me that there's medium competition for web design. So if you're to rank for your #1 keyword, you'd want to find something that was probably low. You'd have a better chance of getting that. That's a good way to find out what keyword you are. They also give you other suggestions here. I'm a design company. You can also compare these to each other as well. So that's a handy feature. There's also the keyword trends that is available. So you can put in a trend keyword. That's not
What was the URL you went to?
I gave you the wrong one. Let's look for it. Trends, there it is. Trends.google.com
Thank
for
you.
trends. So if we want to do COVID, search on that. It'll show that it started ranking as a keyword back here, February 16th.
Imagine that.
Let's add another one, masks. Not as high, but you can see masks starting to take off here after COVID. You can drill down to particular state, see how well they trended for that state. You can even go down to particular county if you want, see how it trended. So that could be handy too. If you don't want to have a keyword that's trending downward, it's good to go in positive.
This means how many people look for that in Google.
Exactly. What else? Other meetups. There's a meetup later today, which is getting the most out of Woocommerce, if you're interested. There's also tomorrow is WordCamp Austin. And on October 16th, I'll be repeating my Fun with Forms and Pop-ups at the Greenville Elementary Meetup. I know, Carol, you had asked some questions before this presentation. I think I might have answered those. You had asked why rank math. Did I answer all these questions for you?
I think so.
Okay.
Where's Greenville?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Okay, not the Northern California one then.
No, they're about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
North of Atlanta.
Hey, Greg, this is Bill Smith.
Hey,
Sorry,
Bill.
on the WooCommerce one, would it be possible for you to drop the link to that in the chat?
Yeah, I'll put them all in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're hosting that, Bill, in 2 parts. Tonight will be more of a basic overview of WooCommerce and Elementor. And then next month will be a more advanced dive into WooCommerce.
Yeah, great. I would love to get on your mailing list.
I will drop the link in a second.
Awesome, thank you.
Actually, I do have a question.
This is the link for the Zoom, for the link for Zoom on the for the WooCommerce.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, a link to the meetup page. You can RSVP there or sign up in RSVP and get a link.
Thanks, Oscar.
So Greg, actually, I do have a question. So now that there's Yoast and Rank Math, are some particular websites better for Yoast, some better for Rank Math? Why would you use one or the other?
I think you'd use Rank Math for every kind of website.
So why is Yoast still more popular?
Because it's been around for 10 years and Rank Math has been around for maybe a year and a half.
I see.
They're a disruptor.
Do other Rank Math users have their findings or opinions?
Please chime in.
Well, I'm new to rank math and everything, but I've used Yoast before. And the thing is, the problem with Yoast is in the free version is very limited, and so you really get a lot more features, a lot more control in rank math in the free version. Now it remains to be seen what they do with the pro version, and it doesn't sound like they're going to take stuff out.
No.
But it's in terms of if you're stacking up Yoast Pro versus Rank Math, I don't have enough experience to answer that. Yoast has been around for a long time, and the creator is was a pretty well-known SEO when the plugin started. So it's possible that the paid version of Yoast might be superior to the current version of Rank Math. That I'm not sure, but the free version, I mean, to me, and the feature set is there's no comparison.
I just put a list of features in Rank Math that aren't even in the paid version of Yoast in the chat, so you can see what those are. We covered
That'd be interesting. I know the Yoast documentation, I like to read it even for Joomla websites because it really explains why you want to use a particular feature or kind of how SEO works. So maybe we can still refer to those, or maybe eventually Rank Math will come up with its own equally good set of rationale and background info.
They have a lot of training materials at you know, that's one thing that Yoast has. They do have a lot of that, but there are other good sources if you're looking at just general SEO information and how to apply that with Rank Math. I find moz.com is generally pretty good. Rand Fishkin is really good. I don't do tons of SEO, but I've been kind of involved in it for 20 years or so. And Rand's been at it quite a while, but there's some other good sources out there as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that's why clients want websites. They don't
The
want
Rank
to
Math
just start.
documentation is very good.
Which one is?
The Rank Math documentation on their website is very, very thorough.
Their support has been good too, coming at it from somebody who got one of their sites hacked through Rank Math. I'm still using Rank Math, so that's probably one of the best endorsements I can think of.
David, when you mentioned that hack, I looked it up. Was that the one in March?
Yeah,
I saw that in March. Oh yeah, that looked kind of bad.
Nasty little hack.
Did you patch yours? Did it take a while after their patch came out before you updated?
It was a matter of days, but
Wow.
they have these automated bots.
Right.
It was interesting seeing where they were pointing it. A lot of Japanese yoga sites and just weird things. You're like, who was paying for these hacks?
Yeah, I saw that looked like a pretty brutal opening when I was reading. The Word Fence had a write-up on it that I was reading when you mentioned that.
Yeah, but I think it's a great tool. Everything you went through, Greg, it's been my experience that it really leads you kind of step by step through everything, and you kind of train yourself to write the way it suggests that you write, and you tweak pages based on its suggestions. And it's a good basic kind of get into the ballpark type of SEO, on-page SEO.
Yeah, I want to kind of give an overview of it, just make people familiar with it.
Oh yeah, thanks very much, Greg.
Hey, Mark, can you drop that link to that article? I'd love to read that post about the hack.
Oh, absolutely. I'll put it in the chat right now.
Thanks.
And Rank Math has 24-hour support on their Facebook page. That's how they handle their support.
I've gone through, they have a support forum that I've been in. There's 2 or 3 smarties in there. What's that?
On their website?
Yes. When I've been in desperate straits, I click one link or the other and it goes to their support. And they seem to answer pretty reliably and very in detail, and they're pretty dogged. They don't give up and go, well,
oh yeah,
see you later. Yeah. I guess the only thing you have to wonder is who's the product, right? If they're giving it away for free, or the product.
Imagine
especially now they want to connect to your, what's that?
I imagine they're going to want to sell the Pro version at some point.
Exactly.
Well, the one thing they started doing it, with the connection to the Search Console, you think, well, they're probably pulling out data and coming up, selling it.
Right.
But hey, sell my data. I don't care.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Plenty to go around. So yeah, their support forum. I'll put a link to that as well. All right. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone for
Greg.
joining. Anyone have any more comments or suggestions?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Topics for next month,
have-
ideas?
I have a quick question here. Is
Yeah.
there any kind of guesses as to what the Pro version is going to have? It seems so comprehensive. What else are they going to try to?
I haven't seen anything about what might be in there yet.
Any guesses?
Probably bringing in more information from Search Console, I imagine. Seems to be a nice feature. But it's so thorough now, I'm not sure what else I could add.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking.
Thanks everyone.
All
for
right,
joining.
great. Thank you.
Hope you all have a nice weekend and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Greg.
much.
Thank you.
Great
Bye-bye.
meeting, Greg.
Bye. Everybody have a great day.
Glad I
Thanks,
made it.
everyone.
Oh,
Bye,
Carrie,
everyone.
Carrie,
Bye,
want to
everyone.
meeting running?
Stay
I'll see
safe.
you next
Stay well.
Greg, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Very important
Carol,
contribution.
leave this on if you want to talk to Ernie.
Well,
No,
that's
I'm,
okay. I actually have to take off. I've got another thing coming up. Thanks a lot.
All right. Guys, take care.
Take care, Ernie.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.